Hello, my name is Matt Bird, and welcome to the PublishU podcast, where we explore the real life stories of authors from around the world. Today, I'm talking to Dave Persad from Canada, who has written his second book, a pocket book called The Table Before Me. Dave, great to see you.
Yeah, great to be back with you, Matt.
Hey, remind us where in Canada you are. I know it's yeah,
Yeah,
well, you tell me.
sure. So I live in a city called Sarnia in the province of Ontario.
Now that's
It's
why I
one
couldn't
of the,
pronounce it, you see.
yeah. Yeah. So kind of one of the southernmost points in all of the country and beautiful place right on the edge of the Great Lakes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And do you do lots of outdoor stuff?
We enjoy being outside quite a bit. Yeah. We're spoiled with the weather here. It's moderate compared to much of the rest of the country.
Yeah. So barbecues and walks and yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Dave, remind us, for those who've not heard from you before,
Yeah.
tell us what it is you do for a living. What's your job?
Well, my paid job, my day job is I served as a pastor for almost 25 years now in this city and in the same church over the course of time in different roles, and thankful for that opportunity. And I also work part-time with our denomination as a regional minister, coaching other pastors and church leadership teams. And I also have a nonprofit organization that helps combat human trafficking in our area.
Wow, impressive, amazing. 25 years in the same job. That's quite something.
Well, some days it seems like a blur. Some days it can seem like it has been 25 years, but overall it's a great joy and
Yeah.
thankful to have a good support of people around us.
Yeah. So you've written another book, but let's start with your first book. Tell us
Yeah,
about your first book, just in a nutshell. Just give us some
sure.
context.
Yeah, thank you. Down to earth leadership, influencing communities through the virtues of Jesus Christ is essentially the story of how our church family has integrated mission in the context of our local community, and recognizing that that which all of which Jesus stands for in his person and his character brings value to the people around us. And how do we allow that his life to lead us and extend grace to others around us? And so that's a story. And then picking up on that, and just sometimes in church we can become a little bit institutional and more fixed on the tradition, but being open to the new things that God will continue to bring our way and the new people along the way as we allow Him to lead us through that. So thankful for the positive reception that it has had already,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so and obviously just this past week had the opportunity to walk another leadership team through some of the principles of that, allowing them to just recognize what is yet possible and what might be actually going on in their community that they could serve.
Yeah. And what, just to dive in, just for
Yeah.
a moment, what was one of the principles you would have worked through with them, Dave,
Yeah.
about community engagement at this level?
The biggest key would be, how does God introduce himself to a larger community? And often we're talking now about the needs of how do we respond to the needs of the community around us? And we get a picture of that in Exodus chapter 3, where God introduces himself to Moses and the people of Israel. And he says these words. He says, I see their suffering. I hear their prayers. I feel moved to do something about it, and now I'm going to send you. And that message is a message that streams its way all the way through the scriptures. And it is most reflective, obviously, in the life of Jesus. He uses those I am statements a number of times. And in so doing, he gives us these examples of how we can respond to the needs that God sees and hears, and he wants to send us in as his action arm, a compassionate action arm to meet those needs.
Amazing. So does your second book, because you've written this second book quite quickly after your first, is the
Yeah,
natural segue from this community engagement of down-to-earth leadership to this
yeah.
next book, The Table Before Me?
Yeah, yeah. The table before me, essentially, in our cinematic world, it's a prequel. It's
Okay.
the stories that inform the first book, and so while Down to Earth Leadership provides a framework, an outline, and some theology, and some practical things. The table before me is how did we learn this along the way? Where did this come from? And a lot of it comes from engagement in global contexts. And one of those global contexts is the being involved in a mission in El Salvador over the course of the last 16 years,
Wow.
with an organization called Shelter. That's what I'm wearing here
Yeah.
this today. And so we've been taking teams to El Salvador over these 16 years, often going twice a year over the last number of years. I've probably been there over 40 times or more uh,
Wow. In 16 years.
myself for 16 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've never lived there, but you've visited there,
Yes.
regularly.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I'm
what is
there
it
two or
about
three
El
times.
Salvador that interests you to keep going back?
Um, Well, from geographically, from our part of the world, it's easy to get to.
Okay.
It's about a 5 hour flight. There's a little bit of time change, not much. You don't have to take as much time off to be able to do so. So it was conducive to people's schedules to be involved in that. And it also gives us a practical outworking of our faith. So we build houses alongside families who live in extreme material poverty. And we help them understand that whole concept that God has seen their suffering, God has heard their prayer, and He is moved to do something about it. And He has put it upon us to meet them and to listen to their story and to pray with them and to learn from them. And together we have grown in our understanding about how amazing it is that God would do these things.
Wow. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, what started? I mean, I know it's 5 hour
Yeah.
flight, but what started you with El Salvador? I mean, when did you first visit?
2009, we visited. So, just as a local community of people, considering how can we extend ourselves, realizing we are mostly inward focused, and so how do we start to extend ourselves? And so we started considering praying about different parts of the world that we could. Our desire was to be, if we were going to be involved in something, we wanted to be a long-term relationship through which their mutual learning could take place. Could we learn something from the people that we're going to as opposed to just going and
Yeah,
doing? And
yeah,
so we sought out those kinds of experiences. And our denomination, the Evangelical Missionary Church of Canada, had been involved in this work in El Salvador since 2002. It was a response to a massive earthquake that displaced millions of people in the country of El Salvador. So it started as an emergency response mission, but has become a community development mission along the way. And so it outgrew the capacity, the mission, the work itself outgrew the capacity of our denomination to administer it, which was a good problem because there was people wanting to be involved. And so I, together with a couple of others, started another organization called Shelter and shelterhelps.com, and it has continued to grow since then. So we got involved in 2009. We started the new foundation in 2012 or 2013. And I served on the board there for 11 or 12 years until just recently. But I still continue, obviously, to take teams and to be involved and love what God is doing there.
mm, beautiful, beautiful. And so the book you've written, The Table
Yes.
for Me,
So the
it
book, go ahead.
go on, tell us, go on.
Yeah, yeah. I have a little bit of excitement about all of these things, as you
Good.
can tell. So the book actually chronicles our journey over these 16 years. It starts with my very first blog post in 2009,
Wow.
and and it then unfolds throughout the course of the years, including the pandemic years when we could not go, but we had the opportunity to connect virtually with people whom we were serving with, and which is an incredible development because one of the sustainable pieces of this work has been the employment of 50 Salvadorans on a year-round basis. And because of that, innovation has been able to take place and the work is thriving. Um, so from 2009, kind of unfolding, these are the things that we learned, and they reflect, as we read them, they reflect the virtues that are talked about in the Down to Earth Leadership book. Uh,
Okay.
so justice and compassion and forbearance and devotion and discernment and all those things. They That's where we see the life. This has significantly influenced the writing of that first book.
Yeah, yeah. Which is why you
Yeah,
called it accurately a prequel.
it's a
It's
prequel. Yeah,
it's
it's a
the
bit of a
story
prequel.
before the story.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what are one of those learnings that you have that's touched your heart most about El Salvador? What is it that's caught you and
yeah.
you've relayed in your new pocketbook?
So the table before me, the title is in essence captures the biggest picture for me. We read that those words in Psalm 23, right? The Lord is my shepherd, and one of the things that the Lord is my shepherd does is He leads me through dark valleys, and He leads me, and He sets this table before me in the presence of my enemies. And often when we think about the things that we want to do or get involved in, we try to clean them up and they got to be safe and sanitary and comfortable. And yet when we walk into these communities, they're often remote mountainous communities and extreme people who are living in extreme material poverty. They have faced decades of post-Civil War life. The Civil War was atrocious in the 70s and 80s in El Salvador, and then gang violence since then over the decades as well was had a significant bearing. In fact, for many years until just recently, it was on a banned travel list, a high alert
Really?
travel list.
Gosh.
So to walk into a community and to recognize there is beauty, there are hope-filled people who work hard, and there is great generosity among the community members, and a desire. They have the same desire that you and I do, a desire for a better future, a desire for hope, a recognition. Does God hear me? Is God on my side? And so we get to spend time with them. And there was a moment in time, a few years in, where we were having lunch in the community, and as I sat there, there was a table. We had set up this makeshift table in the community while a house was being built off to one side. And there were people eating a meal together. There were some people jumping rope, skipping rope with some kids off to one side. There were some others playing ball. There were some others learning to cook food with the local women off to one side. And so all of these things were happening. Here we thought, we're in this place that the world says don't come. We're in this place where it's so, the violence is so much that the world says you shouldn't be there. We're in this place where people didn't have a history of not trusting each other, and yet there's incredible beauty here. And it struck me that this is the enemy, all those words to pull us apart. Uh, they're real. They can be statistically backed up.
Yeah,
But in that place, God had prepared this table, and there was a this reconciliation of recognizing the presence of God giving us strength. And that has continued to happen over and over to so now we walk in we get to prepare teams to walk in with eyes wide open to how God is going to meet us because he's already prepared a place for us to meet with these families to learn from them about their faith and how in waiting for this response. It's an
yeah,
incredible thing.
yeah. Beautiful. So that's where the title comes from. The
That's where the title comes from. Yeah. Yeah. The table before me. Yeah.
table before me. So,
Yeah.
Dave, what do you hope is the impact of your pocketbook?
The impact of my pocketbook will be I think there's a lot of hesitation in the world. I think there's a lot of division in the world. And so if it's an encouragement to allow people to go to those places that they know uh, that we can serve, but maybe they're hesitant in that. To recognize that He's looking for people to send into these places. And there's incredible, incredible life empowering lessons to learn as we posture ourselves to serve among and serve with those who we would otherwise ignore. And so to recognize that, and I would say this that being involved in global mission, El Salvador is the one country that we've been most involved in. There are others. Um, has informed the way we respond locally and has compelled us to also then be involved more locally in the same kinds of issues, which actually resulted in, as I mentioned at the top, creating a separate organization to address the issue
Yeah,
of human trafficking. And so it does feed that compassion and recognize, and then it creates a great humility knowing that God is the one who is providing. He gives us the energy and the resources and a depth of love that we would not otherwise be able to foster
yeah,
unless we learned from Him through these experiences.
yeah. Amazing. Dave, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And thank you all for listening to this PublishU podcast featuring the real life stories of authors from around the world. If you're interested in becoming an author like Dave, please do visit our website, www.publish, the letter u.com, publishu.com. And if you enjoyed this broadcast, make sure you subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye for now.
Right. Thank you.